Hello Wanderers and welcome back to the Outer Worlds.
And if this ship is yours, well ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
I don't have a job.
I'll waive your fee since you helped us with those marauders. If you're looking for work, talk to the constable down at Edgewater. She's got a bounty on marauders. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Okay, take care. I feel like she let us off pretty easily considering how much trouble the landing caused. After inspecting our new ship, our mission is to head over to Edgewater and find a power regulator and also some work to buy supplies. The lieutenant's advice of going after marauder bounties when we get into town is one we'll definitely follow as well.
Huh? I smell blood! I'm
As we reach the edge of town, we're greeted by a lone gravedigger named Silas, tending to a large, sprawling cemetery.
Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend.
My pod crashed in the hills back there.
Your pod? What are you on about? You take a bruise to the cranium? Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
Is that why you have a pair of armed guards?
I'm being vigilant. Don't want to get blindsided by some corpse-chewing marauder come stalking out the shadows.
I'm Alex Hawthorne, captain of the Unreliable.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Who do I talk to about a power regulator?
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Depends on the work. Are you offering me a job?
Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company. Renting means money.
Silas has asked us to help him collect the overdue gravesite fees of a group of individuals in town. We'll also drop by Reed Thompson's office to see about that power regulator. And we'll see what bounties are posted so that we can go out hunting. But first, I think we need a drink.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
I think we know exactly
Say
how
hello?
you guys feel.
Hmm?
Fine establishment you have here.
You really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean. You got no idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles. Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt. We just got some problems lately. I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You understand.
What's this about deserters?
Traitors. A bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you?
I'll have a drink, please.
Coming right up.
This place's story gets bleaker and bleaker by the minute. Here we have the opportunity to buy, sell, and repair items.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors. We'll get you mostly drunk at half the price. Spacer's choice.
I want to talk to Reed. Where can I find him?
Do you now? And what makes you think Mr. Thompson wants to talk to you? He's a busy man. You want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll summon you up to that great big tower atop the cannery, and you'll get yourself a proper dressing down.
You say that like it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. If you're not pulling your weight, you don't deserve to live here. Simple as that. Go ahead. You tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
I just felt like chatting.
Go ahead.
So what's your story?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Yeah, I guess it's not.
Will there be anything else?
Never mind.
Sorry, I got a lot to do.
We don't get a lot of visitors.
Spacer's choice takes care of its own.
Everyone here seems so miserable. Well, hello there, pretty girl.
I've got some time.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
Oh, HR. Okay, I'll leave you be. Once inside the Saltuna factory, we find vending machines. I just know that fucking jingle is gonna get stuck in my head forever.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. Yeah, but Bess... the cannery cooks in sealed cans. Exact time, exact temperature.
The food swells during cooking, bursting the cans. So change... Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
That's because I don't work for Spacer's Choice, you reptile.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
All right, let's
There's a power
hear it.
regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what exactly do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Tell me what I need to do.
The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
These workers must have left town for a reason?
That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
All right, Reed. I'll see what I can do.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sure, I could use the company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. And just like that, we have a lovely new companion. Well, hello, Parvati. What Reed has asked us to do seems pretty wrong. But then again, the society's moral compass has been nothing to marvel at so far. Maybe there's a way we can help both the deserters and Edgewater without having to leave anyone in the dark. We'll have to ask around town and see.
Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Sure, Parvati, what's up?
Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Go on.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues.
Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, It's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Once at the chapel, it's time to find the vicar. Parvati seems like a sweet girl, very different from the people we've met so far. Maybe a little bit more hopeful, maybe a little bit more lonely and out of place. This must be the vicar.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
How did you know I'm an outsider?
Not to put too fine a point on it, but your choice of wardrobe is not precisely common hereabouts. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal. Pretty universal here, except for Ms. Holcomb, who for some reason doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Maybe it's because you're so dismissive. Quite inappropriate from a vicar, isn't it?
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town.
That's gotta be tough.
Yes. Yes, it is. But it's my job, and I take it very seriously. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here.
What kind of advice do you offer here?
They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No. How about, work fortifies the spirit. True exhaustion awaits idle hands.
I was actually asking what your religion was all about.
The OSI teaches that the Grand Architect set a perfect system in motion at the beginning of time. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in that grand plan.
What does OSI stand for?
The Order of Scientific Inquiry, also known as scientism to the layperson.
How do you talk to the Grand Architect? Prayer, meditation, or what?
You don't talk to the Grand Architect. Once the universe was set in motion, it stepped back. It has no concern for us.
Doesn't sound like a motivational religious philosophy. What's there to aspire to?
We will eventually decode the plan and all its intricacies. Once we are able to deduce the properties of every particle in the universe and its trajectory, we will know everything. The future, the past, each person's place within the plan, all will be laid out before us, removing struggle. The future, the past, each person's place within the plan, all will be laid out before us, removing struggle and bringing peace. No one will ever need question their path again. Some even believe this ultimate knowledge will unlock mankind's true potential, and we will all become akin to Grand Architects ourselves, after a fashion.
Really? Tell me more.
Well, first there's the matter of the secret blood rites and animal sacrifices. I'm kidding. Seriously, though, to truly understand the metaphysics involved takes years of study and contemplation.
Parvati wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
He's asked us to, fix the geothermal plant?
That seems well within your expertise.
The way we do it's by cutting off power to the others. The ones who left.
Adelaide McDevitt's encampment. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
What do you think of Adelaide's group?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
So what's your advice?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
Yeah, I'll need to know a little more about this book before I agree.
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Well, this guy certainly is an interesting man of the cloth. Let's see what Parvati thinks about all this.
Yeah, huh?
I notice you mention your dad a lot, but never your mother.
That's on account of how I never met her.
You mean she's dead?
I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
That's inhuman.
It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
You mentioned something that I wanted to ask you about.
You mean about the mission being too clean?
Isn't it supposed to be clean? It's a church.
I know, but Vicar says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicar sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
Wise words, my lady. I couldn't agree more.
Heard something outside the walls today.
Nothing for us outside those walls. You ought to know that.
It's beginning to sound like we'll have quite a bit to do in Edgewater before we can actually get off the ground. So we might as well make ourselves comfortable.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing with myself.
Just the way it goes, I suppose.
Thank you so much for joining me in another episode of The Outer Worlds. I hope, like me, you'll also want to learn more about this ironically dystopic world, and how we can learn more from it, as we are living a reality that is not too far away from the one pictured here.
Wish we had some better rations.
At least you got your health.
Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for more gaming content. Until the next one, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy wanderings.
You're not a big drinker, are you?